Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell from the title, I'm kind of doing a Q&A and story time. So what I was going to do is film this Q&A and then do like a story time of like times I've met the Vamps, events of the Vamps, and just go through it. So what I think I'm going to do is, a lot of the questions that have been asked are to do with experiences with the Vamps. So this is going to be like a mashed up Q&A and story time. But then I think as a sitting down chatty video soon, I'm going to film and talk about every Vamps gig and event that I've been to. Talk about like what it was, when it was, if anything fun happened. Just to talk about my experiences and stuff. So this is kind of some people's way of getting to know me to do with the Vamps. I'm probably not going to make this a long video, it's just going to be a nice quick Q&A. So, I'm editing and it's not a quick Q&A, it's quite long actually, so I'm sorry about that, but I just chat. So yeah, enjoy. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to it. I've got 18 questions, which is perfect for this. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first question is off Angelic Jonah. It's off Mace, my friend Mace. She put, how many times have you met them? So, oh my god. I've not met them like loads and loads and loads, but I've met them a lot. Sometimes I've met them and we haven't had photos because it's not all about photos and they may have been in a rush. So off the top of my head with VIP, off the top of my head, 2016. So it's 2016 tour, 2017 tour, 4 2018 and 2 2019. So that's 8 with VIP. I've met James out of VIP twice. And Brad, I met him a few times because I've bumped into him in town before in Birmingham. But those times I've not had photos. But then I've met him at Outside Free Radio live. And then Tristan, I haven't met him, I don't think, outside of anything. We met him at Free Radio Live with Brad, but he didn't get photos, he didn't really talk to us. And then Connor, I've met Connor a lot. If you know, you know. I can't think of a number off the top of my head, but I've met them quite a lot. Next one is off Mace again, and it's favourite memory. So I've always said from the moment it happened, my favourite memory was when one time I bumped into Connor in Birmingham, because it was after my holiday and it was 2017, and I went up Birmingham to get some shopping and to buy a new portable charger, and he was walking back to the train station and I was on the other side of the road and I saw him and I was like, oh. So I went over and I was like, oh hi, and I had a tweet, I'll link the tweet below, and I wrote a notes page explaining it in detail. But I asked him if he could refollow me because I'd lost all my follows. I got hacked about 2 years before. So I asked him if he could refollow me, and he got his phone out. He went on Twitter and he was like, it's Predictable Con, isn't it? And I was like, oh my gosh. So he refollowed me and we just spoke, and he walked with me to the train station. Like, he didn't try and tell me to F off or anything. And we just spoke about normal stuff, and it just felt really like normal and nice. And I think ever since that happened, I've always said that's my favourite memory. Like, there's so many memories I could tell you about Vamps gigs and the Vamps, but that one is probably the one I've always said and will always keep to my heart. Next 3 are off Moll, Revival Vamps. You might know her from my vlogs. She asked 3 at the same time, so I'll answer them all now. So the first one she said was best tour. So a lot of people say that their favourite tour was last year's, 2019. Like, whenever I see people saying it and stuff, I think, in my opinion, last tour, I loved it for the set list. Like, the set list was amazing. I mean, I loved it overall, but like the main thing I liked about that tour was the setlist 2019 tour. But then 2018 tour was probably my favourite personally, because of it being the first one that I properly travelled for. I had the most VIPs for, I did the most in Wowpit, you know, everything was a really, and the set list, everything was the best experience of 2018 tour. So like for me, I would say 2018 tour, Night and Day tour was my favourite. She also said best Vamps memory. I said my Connor one, but because she said best Vamps memory, I'm going to say like overall. So I've only really met them all together on tour, so I think definitely the first time I met them, because it was my first time. So I think that definitely was memorable. Glasgow was quite cute for tour, because that was my first VIP for the Vamps at that tour. And I obviously flew to Glasgow, and like Connor was like, oh my god, you're in Glasgow? And it was just like, oh my god. And they were all so smiley and happy. But if anyone has ever met the Vamps, you can back me up when I say they're just like so genuine when they meet people. And the last one she said was fave cover. Right. Okay. The one that always comes to my head when I think of a Vamps cover, really random, is Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars.
Okay, cool, bye, enjoy the video.
Because I used to like blast that all the time when it came out. But there's like, I think a lot of their covers that they do are good. They don't have like a bad cover. I remember when they released Wild Thoughts as a cover, and I'm a bit 50-50, like sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. At Sweetener Brooke said, what's one song that you prefer live and one song you prefer the studio version? Okay. Risk It All, classic, is amazing live. Don't get me wrong, I like the studio version, but I prefer that live. I don't know why, but it's just, I think when they sang it on the first tour, I was like, and then the 2015 tour, and then they did it as the Twitter chooses a song thing for 2018 tour, and it was still just like, it hit me. And then my favourite song studio, What Your Father Says, but I like that one live as well. But What Your Father Says off Day Edition, and I also really like, I'm going to say All Night, because it's a bop. Again, there's a lot I could say that I like live and a lot that I could say studio, but they're the ones that come to my head. So the next one is from VSCO Bradley, like Visco Bradley, and it's Best Photo of Brad. I'm going to go and find it. It was one of the first photos he took with his glasses, and I'll insert it next to me now. It's probably not like my favourite, but it's definitely one of my favourites. Oh, Sweetener Brooke also asked, what's your favourite song live? As I said before, Risk It All is a good one live. Paper Hearts had me tearing up. I don't know. When they performed that at the Middle of the Night tour. Upbeat songs, Staying Up. Hands is a very dancey one. Personal's a very dancey one. I also like Hair Too Long. There's a lot. At I Feel So Brad said, what was your worst Vamps gig or VIP experience? Right. My worst overall Vamps gig experience was War Child, when they performed for the Brits at Dingwalls in London. It was in February 2018. The gig was fine, but basically the girl I was meant to go with, she was like, I'll meet you there, because she lived in London. I obviously don't. We'll go in and then you can stay at mine. So it saved me travelling back late from London on my own on a coach. And when I was at the venue with a few of my other friends, I was trying to ring and text this girl and she wasn't answering, so she basically like stood me up. So I was like panicking. I had a panic attack in the middle of this place. I was like, I'm going home. But then my friend Amy was like, right, no, you're not going home. Let me see if you can stay at mine. And luckily her mum, love her mum, was like, yeah, you can stay. So that was just like a bad experience. But then with VIP, I was going to say Manchester last tour because normally I say something or something happens in VIPs that makes it really memorable, but it did happen. I'm just not thinking right. I think the worst one, okay, it's not exactly the worst one, it's probably just the funniest. I don't have like a worst VIP experience, but at Brighton, it was last minute that we bought VIP. Me and Steph and Kirsty were like last minute VIP. And I was wearing this bra that like I'd tightened as tight as it could go, but because it only went a certain way and my arms are quite skinny, it would still fall down. And I remember my bra strap falling down halfway through the meet and greet. VS CO Bradley again said, what's their most underrated song? Okay. All Night EP, right, talk shows, Scars, Hideaway was so underrated and still are. They are such good tunes. At Sunflower BWS said favourite album. Probably Wake Up or Day Edition. Just like the vibe that they both give off, and the songs on there, they're both like. At Tidal Wave Vamps said best memory of the Vamps. I've said that one already, but thank you for the question. Talk Later Jess said, when did you first see them? And she said see them live. So the first time I actually saw the Vamps live was March 2014. I didn't actually know who they were at the time. I think Can We Dance had been out, so I probably heard the song, but I didn't like know who they were. And I was at The Wanted in Birmingham because they were the first ever band slash group that I was like hardcore stan. And they were the support acts, and I was like, the Vamps, they're quite cool. So that was the first time I saw them live. And then after that, the first time I went for them live was Fusion Festival 2014. At New Rules Kiss Styles said, have you ever met the boys, and if so, what was the experience like? So as I said, I've met them quite a few times, and I'm not joking, there's never exactly been a bad one. Like Free Radio Live was a bit rushed, so I would say that was a bit shit, but it wasn't bad. Like no one was rude, it was a bit of a rush kind of thing. I've never had bad experience meeting them. I still get nervous meeting them nowadays sometimes. It's not because it's that I'm meeting them because I've met them before, I don't know, I think I've always been someone to get a bit nervous when first meeting someone anyway, but then I get comfortable once I'm in the zone. So I still get nervous, but they are really nice boys. Like, if you haven't met them and you get the chance to meet them, please meet them. Oh my god, my cat has robbed my chair. We're talking about the Vamps. Are you going to talk about the Vamps with us? No, I didn't think so. At Maya Kiss BWS said, when do you think the album will be dropped? So they've basically teased about that they're working on new music, and they've been working on an album. Obviously with Corona, a lot of things are changing to what they probably would have been. So I reckon they obviously would have probably, without Corona, they'd be touring right now or finishing a tour, or touring, I don't know, one or the other. And then they would drop the album after the tour. So I would say now, but because of everything going on, I reckon sometime near the end of the year maybe. You don't know what they're doing and what they're working on and how the process is going, so that's a tricky one. She also asked favourite and least favourite song and favourite album. So as I said, I've said the favourite album. Favourite and least favourite song. There's more than one, 100%. I always say On My Way, Connor's song, is near the top because of the tattoo and the meaning and whatever. But overall, the Missing You EP Altogether is in my top favourites. But then my least favourite song, Somebody to You. Don't even have to think about it. At Hayley J Kiss Kiss, fave tour you've been to. Not like, I think I've already answered this, but every tour has been great. Like, every tour was different in a different way. It was all, you know, and it made it good, and it made it amazing. Not good, amazing. But 2018 is my favourite tour because of what I said earlier. My friend Katie said fave memory. Already answered that, Katie, sorry. She also said fave memory with Con. As I said, probably the one when the whole train station situation. I also bumped into him around Christmas time of the same year. That was quite funny. New Hope Club Fan Fest. They're just a few. At Waves Vamps asked, what's your fave extra track from each of the boys? I like this question. This is a good question. Okay, so Tristan, All Around the World. James, Tequila. Brad, Sometimes. And then Connor, On My Way. The last question for the Q&A is from the Vamps Corby, your lane and why. So if you know me, you know I'm a Connor girl. Connor is my lane. The reason being is he's just helped me a lot over the last few years. His personality, I think the thing anyone would say for the lane, to be honest. But basically, I used to be a Brad girl, but I think every Vamps fan can say that at one point in their life they were a Brad girl, because look at him. I'm still deep down a Brad girl, okay? But I just moved to Connor because he was more of like who I went for as like a stan. Like, if you know me, everyone I stan has the same kind of qualities and appearance and personalities. It's weird. Okay, so that's the Q&A done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a bit more about me and the Vamps. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!